Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is July 30th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. If you look there, you can see the frontal system. It's fairly weak, it is late July here. They are quite punchless at this time of year, but it did set some record rainfall across some portions of western Washington, although Seattle did not get their record. We'll take a look at those details coming up here. We'll also take a look at the big ridge that's going to develop across the Intermountain West. Also going to spread some monsoon moisture back up across Nevada, California, potentially in across Oregon and portions of Washington as well. We'll dive into those details as we go through the video here this morning. Always something fun to look at in the weather. If I take a look at just a random station area, I just selected Cottonwood Drive here, Tri-Cities. You can see there's Richland here. And if I click on that, you can see it brings me to the station. Then you click on this little icon here. And if I go to, for example, UV index, you can see how it graphs it out for these individual stations. And if I back up here, you can see how the UV index was suppressed yesterday because we had some clouds around it. So you can kind of see it's fun to scroll back through your history there. If you want to get one of these weather stations, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Highly recommend a great smartphone app as well. So again, you guys are killing it here. We're up over 66,000 subscribers. We picked up 3,000 subscribers pretty quickly here with a little bit of active weather across the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, if you want to put your guesses in when we'll hit 100,000 down below, let me know. I look forward to that milestone. So taking a look here, you can see Hoquiam Airport, 6,500ths of an inch of rain, almost 2/3 of an inch. Just shattered the old record of 0.37 set back in 2001. Olympia set theirs also with 2/10 of an inch. And Bellingham, look at this, almost an inch of rainfall at the end of July. What a blessing there from the heavens. Taking a look at this back in 1955, only 4/10 of an inch. That was the previous record high. Seattle did not get the record. We missed it by 400ths of an inch with 0.13. Looking at out there today, there's chance for an isolated dry thunderstorm in Butte, Montana, some portions of Idaho, but this is going to be what's coming as we go through the weekend, especially for some of the Cascades, and I'll show you more on that here in a moment. But first, let's look at Seattle. 0.13, there's 0.17 was the record high, 69 degrees yesterday, and we are going to start a warm up, and we're going to go above average as we go on in through the early portion of August. And again, pointing this out one more time, easily the driest point of the year here for much of the Pacific Northwest is right there at the end of July, and then you can see the rapid climb we go in precipitation amounts as we go through the month of November. So Pendleton National Weather Service talking about this heat that will be incoming here. So here we go again. It's going to be coming, and there's a lot of fires out there as well. So it can help flare up that activity. And of course, then you're going to be dealing with the problem with all the smoke that's drifting about. Now, taking a look here, this is the European on the left versus the GFS on the right. So the black lines here are the 500 millibar heights, which is at 18,000 feet. And it shows, it'll kind of highlight the ridge building here. But you can see the frontal system swinging through. And then you can see the monsoon moisture bubbling around across the southwest USA. And then you see the ridge building there across the west. You can really see it just dominate much of the Intermountain West. And you can also see that monsoon moisture right up on the western periphery. The flow is clockwise around this impressive ridge that's been showing up on both the GFS and the European. Basically, all the models are showing it, and you can see the monsoon moisture right up into Oregon and potentially up into Washington as we go through the weekend here. So that could be triggering some lightning strikes across the Cascades, and these, at this time of year, they can be prolific fire producers as well anytime you get lightning across the region here. But yeah, interesting stuff there. Now looking at the North American model, this is a bit newer. This is the 12Z run. This is hot off the press. And this is the same map. And if we scroll off in towards Thursday, you can see the ridge developing, starting to dominate the west, and that monsoon moisture just at the end of the run there, coming across California, Nevada, and moving up into Oregon. That's as far as the 12Z in North American 12-kilometer resolution model goes. So probably it's on its way here, and so we'll be watching this over the next few days. And again, like I mentioned, with the last two rounds of this monsoon moisture back up across the area, models do not resolve just how much lightning we can get out of some of these systems. So taking a look at the European, let's see what it has to say about actual precipitation amounts. This is 24-hour running total. You could see the frontal system that went through yesterday. We're still, there's still some rainfall out there, and there's still some showers, but it should be wrapping up as we go through, on in through tomorrow, Wednesday. The shower should be well out of here, and then we start to roll on in towards Friday, and you can kind of see that monsoon moisture start to ride up, and you see some of these little patches of precip here come across Oregon and Washington Cascades, perhaps up into BC as well as we go through the weekend and then on into the early portion of next week. Now, taking a look here at the lightning flash density, this might make it a little more obvious to you. We're going to scroll through Wednesday there. There's Wednesday afternoon. Now we go through Thursday afternoon, and you can see that the European starting to show the potential for some lightning strikes along the Cascades as we go through Thursday. And then again, Friday, you'll see this activity develop as well. And that's where the end of last night's European run is at 90 hours. Now, this is at 700 millibars, about 10,000 feet. You can see the cooler air associated with the frontal system that just moved through, and it's going to kick it off here. And then watch this ridge develop, and you'll really see the upper levels of the atmosphere, or at least above us at 10,000 feet, start to warm up at the end of the European model. Look at those temperatures there versus where we are right now. So wider view now, GFS, hot off the presses, 12Z run. There goes our system right here. There's Washington State, California is there. There's Alaska up here. Put that into motion, and no doubt you'll be able to see the ridge build here. Monsoon moisture trying to ride up the western periphery of that ridge. And if we scroll off into the extended, some of the models have been showing us some ridging here up across into southern Alaska, across some portions of British Columbia as well. And the GFS gets pretty crazy with it also, moving up all the way across the Yukon and the Northwest Territories there. So we'll be watching that as we go. It'll be interesting to see just how strong this ridge will develop on into our future, which of course will have big implications here potentially across Pacific Northwest. We'll see how that goes. We'll be breaking it down day by day. Looking at the Canadian model, let's see what it has to say. Ridge is there. You can clearly see it. And then we scroll off into the extended forecast as well. Ridge kind of hanging on as we go on into the early portion of August. Not as extensive with the ridge, but still pretty impressive here all the way up in towards, all the way up on the north slope of Alaska there. That ridge is pretty substantial. So if we take a look at the National Blended models here, this is Seattle-Tacoma. Here's today, Tuesday. You can see getting back up into the lower 70s, and then the temperatures ramping up Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, pretty downright. I'll call it very warm conditions here for Seattle. You can see 87 by Friday, and then Seafair weekend will be blessed with some nice weather, but we might be getting those buildups across the higher terrain as well. Now, a wider view of things here on the National Blended models, daily 2-meter maximum temperatures. This is in, it says Fahrenheit, but this is actually Celsius. I don't know if that's a mistake there. It must be on the weather bell, but you can see we do warm up as we go through tomorrow. You can clearly see the heat ramping up as we go through Thursday. There's Friday, 31C, which is almost 88 degrees for Seattle. Very warm conditions, over 100 degrees, perhaps eclipsing 105 degrees as we go through Friday. And look at the valleys of BC start warming up here as we go through the weekend also. But yeah, some warm weather is definitely incoming here, folks, as we go through the weekend. Models are in 100% agreement with that. And the 6 to 10 day, you can clearly see the signal favors the west here. And actually, all the entire lower 48 is in the above average, except the very extreme tip of Maine. Even most of Alaska is getting on the action, and Hawaii as well. This is the 6 to 10 day. Some of that monsoon moisture, no doubt, trying to come back up across some portions of the west. But this is still for the August 4th through 8th, so you take that with a grain of salt as of right now. And the 7-day significant fire potential is calling attention to some of this lightning potential moving up over the area. And W4, 6, 7, even 8 is included in that, 11 and 12. And that will no doubt, you got to watch this closely across some of the Cascade areas as we go through the weekend upcoming. And it's good that they are onto this here, the high risk for lightning triggered fires. But yeah, anyway, that frontal system was quite nice for this time of year moving through the area. Let me know what you guys got at your house. It looks like actually, look at this, Cottonwood Drive out there, Tri-Cities actually did trigger 1/100th of an inch of precipitation. I mentioned there yesterday it might trigger, a 100th or a couple hundredths of an inch. So glad to see that at least something fell, and maybe the clouds suppressed the sun at least for a day or so. But yeah, we're definitely going to be warming up. And again, if you want to order one of these stations, click on that link down below. You can see the Oregon coast is becoming quite well represented here, and we even got a couple across Forks and up towards Neah Bay. There's now one. So yeah, interesting. You can click on here and you can visit anybody's weather station that they make public. And if you click on the rainfall, you can see 0.29 inches there on up towards Neah Bay yesterday, and you can back out. You can kind of look at these graphs. But anyway, otherwise, yeah, we'll be watching this. We'll be breaking it down day by day. Look forward to some nicer weather here, but I am probably kind of a mossback at heart, so I do like these frontal systems. I did enjoy that rainfall yesterday. So otherwise, yeah, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.